So I asked this question to almost every single one of my clients at some point or another. And it's usually in the very first conversation I have during the consultation part. And as people are talking and telling me what they want, what their struggles are, what they're trying to do, what they want to achieve, when they're telling me their whole story, I've listened to so many stories over the years, and I've listened to so many journeys, and I've heard every single excuse and every single scenario that I can possibly imagine. When someone asks me the question, what's the strangest client you've ever had, or the strangest story, or the craziest thing you've ever heard? And I just can't even choose a single piece. Like, there's always something crazy. But I turn that around and I ask people if they think they're an addict. And I ask the question just that simply, usually right in the middle of their conversation, as they're telling me what they want me to hear. I'll just throw out, so let me ask you something. Do you think you're an addict? Would you classify yourself with addictive behavior? Now, I want to make a comment, a little side note here. I'm not a licensed mental health therapist, and I don't have a background in therapy with addictions. I myself battle quite a few addictions and addictive personality, and have been in relationships with people who are addicts, and have many friends who are addicts. And the behavior itself is quite prevalent. And I think that for most people, we don't identify as being an addict, because that term addict comes with a lot of negative, shameful connotations. You know, I used to be in a relationship with an addict, a recovering addict. And my own personal therapist told me, if you can't deal with that person having a relapse, then you need to get out now. Addictions can be that strong. And so if you can't handle someone in an addiction, then you need to be out. But you see, I've come to understand that almost every single one of us, especially those people who are struggling with a healthy lifestyle of any kind, we have an addiction problem. Now, I know that some of you are going to say, oh my God, he's gone off the deep end, and he's just, dramatizing something and being way out of there. And, you're probably, people are even going to say that I'm downplaying mental health issues and all the other things that come along with this. And it couldn't be farther from the truth, quite honestly. You see, I'm just a realist when it comes to these things, and I want to deal with them straight on, instead of tiptoeing around the concept. When someone tells me that they know that they should get up in the morning and go to the gym, but they just can't stop hitting the snooze button. I literally, every single client I have, I ask them to get up earlier in the morning. Can you get up 30 minutes earlier for me and just go for a walk? Can you get up 30 minutes earlier for me and journal a little bit? Can you get up 30 minutes earlier for me and do some personal development reading? And every single one of them, not all of them end up like this, but almost every single one of them says, I tried to get up 30 minutes early, but I just felt like I needed the extra sleep. They hit snooze repetitively. And when I ask them if they've journaled their food, it's always an excuse. I didn't have enough time. I didn't know how to do it. I couldn't figure this out. It's so tedious. I just hate it. Did you go to the gym this week? I was really busy. I'm going to go tomorrow. I couldn't do it today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I've got one client. He's going to watch this video. He's told me for the last 4 weeks that he's going to go to the gym. And every single week I ask, are you going to the gym this week? Well, there's another reason, fill in the blank, that he hasn't made it. You see, this is an addictive behavior. People are addicted in all different ways to different reasons and different things in order to not deal with the reality. Isn't that what most of us associate addictions with? People who are drug addicts or alcoholics, they use the drugs and alcohol to refrain from dealing with reality. I used food as a drug. And I use drugs and alcohol too, to deaden the pain, to keep from having to deal with reality. But we do the same thing when we have a bad, quote unquote, bad day and we just need a cupcake. You know, I just want to sit down with a bottle of wine and a loaf of bread just to feel better. I just want to feel better. I don't want to worry about anything. You see, now again, you guys are going to think I'm over exaggerating this, but that's addiction. You're addicted to the temporary feeling of I deserve this. You're addicted to the snooze button. You're addicted to delaying the work that you need to do for your health. But see, we justify this because we don't think of those things as being detrimental to our health, like putting cocaine in our body or smoking crack or methamphetamines. We don't think about it that someone, and I lived in the middle of DC where there were drug addicts and alcoholics standing on my street corner every day, passed out in their own puke. You see, people will judge those people walking past and say, that person is an addict. Oh my God, that's horrible. But yet they will go home with their Starbucks in their hand that they can't live without their afternoon Starbucks. And they'll eat the ice cream in their refrigerator that they deserve because that's just their afternoon snack. And then they'll complain that they haven't reached their fitness goals, or complain that they haven't lost any weight. And they'll complain that they've tried everything, they just can't beat this. They can't figure this out. But they don't classify themselves as an addict or having a problem of addictive behavior. If any person in addiction will tell you how you start the process of overcoming addiction, it's that you first have to admit you have an addiction. The very first step is saying, I am powerless to this addiction. I am powerless to drugs. I am powerless to alcohol. I am powerless to food. I am powerless to my laziness. I am powerless to the snooze button. I'm powerless to my lack of follow through to get myself healthy, because you don't think that not going to the gym or eating crap or drinking coffee every day, you don't think of those things as being health-wise being detrimental, but they are. As the saying, quote, goes, you're either feeding a healthy body or you're feeding an unhealthy body. You're either feeding it healthy or you're not feeding it healthy. You're either fueling a healthy lifestyle or you're fueling poison. What you put in your body, the food that you put in your body, the caffeine, the sugar, the McDonald's, all of those things are poison. It's no different than putting drugs in your body. And when you say you can't go without having, it's just a Starbucks. It's just a cup of coffee. It's just I go and I have to have ice cream, or I have to have my Taco Bell. Then you have an addiction to that. And you're never going to reach your goals unless you fight that addiction. It's the hardest thing we have to do. It's the hardest thing I ever had to do, because I fall back in those behaviors very, very easily. I want you to think about that the next time you say to yourself, I know I should get up and go work out tomorrow, but I'm gonna wait till Monday. Today's Friday. You got all weekend, and yet a whole bunch of you guys will say, I'll just start on Monday. And most of you won't. I know that for sure. So deal with your addictions. Let me know if I can help you with it. I deal with this every single day, my own self personally and with my clients. And I'll be glad to help if I can. So have a great weekend. Call out your addictions. Post below and tell me what your addictions are, what you're powerless to. And then that way we can start fixing it. That's it for today. Have a great one.